So, coming in at number 10 for craziest movie theories, we have two movies. This one has to do with the Titanic and The Great Gatsby. So this theory states that Jack, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, actually becomes The Great Gatsby. Well, let me give you a little bit of info about this conspiracy. This theory states that there's actually two theories. One theory being that Jack was a spy and making sure Rose does not die or commit suicide. That theory did not make sense to me, so I didn't put it on here. But this theory really is interesting to me. This theory is about Jack, after he drowns, his heart comes back, like returns, and later he becomes the Great Gatsby. He becomes poor, and in the Great Gatsby, in the film, he says he is afraid of water and swimming, so paying homage to Titanic. And this theory did make sense to me, so that's why I put it on here. And next we have number 9. This next theory is about the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the theory states that the entire film takes place in Cameron's head. So what this theory states is that Ferris is merely a character that Cameron, played by Alan Douglas Ruck, makes up in his head to help him cope with his depressive personality. Ferris is the exact opposite of Cameron, the kind of dude Cameron wishes he could be. Here's a little bit of evidence to this conspiracy. This would explain some of the crazier stuff that happens during the film, such as the parade. And the ending is really about Cameron finally accepting who he is and not needing his Ferris character anymore. This theory to me kind of does make sense because I'm sorry, I just haven't been a video. But yes, it does make sense to me. And I'm sorry I'm rushing, I'm just trying to get this over with. And honestly, if the film was actually fake, I would be sad because I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Number 9 is about the next theory is about Back to the Future. And this theory states that Doc Brown was trying to commit suicide when he was testing the DeLorean. What? Alright, here's the theory. Doc Brown was ready to die during the first time travel test. That is why he aims the car at himself. Here's some evidence. Doc Brown mentions that his past experiments have all been failures, so he was ready to give up on his life's work and die if his final time travel experiment didn't work. He stands in front of the car, ready to be his maker to fail. But it doesn't. If there is a vengeance with Marty, he finds that life is worth living again. And if he wants to get darker, some fans think that he was ready to take Marty out with him, which is why he grabs onto Marty when the kid tries to run away. This theory actually is really dark to me because if Doc really wanted to commit suicide, it would be pretty freaking disturbing. So we probably wouldn't have such a great character as he was. So that is Back to the Future. Here's the next one. Okay, if you're a fan of Batman, be warned. This got me. This next theory is about The Dark Knight Rises. This theory states that Batman dies in the end of The Dark Knight Rises. This theory states that Bruce Wayne didn't use autopilot. He just dies to save the city. Alfred seeing him in Florence is just a hallucination. Would Bruce Wayne actually ever give up being Batman? It's fitting that he would die to save the city, and Alfred is so distraught and self-broken after losing the boy he raised that he imagined seeing him happy with Selena at the end of the movie because it comforts him. This theory made me sad because I love Batman and I love The Dark Knight Rises. I own The Dark Knight Rises, and this theory really is dark. There's another theory about The Dark Knight Rises and Alfred being Bruce Wayne's father, but I won't get into that in this video. That was just probably the video. But if you're a fan of Batman, and if you're a fan of Batman, and if you like, if you imagine that but he's still alive to keep it. Now this next theory comes from a film some of my friends have probably not seen, and that is The Rock, starring Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Speaking of Sean Connery, his character in this theory John Mason is said to be James Bond. Sean Connery's character is actually James Bond himself. He was caught spying in America and he spends a chunk of his life in prison for the crime. Well, he is awesome for one thing, but also in the movie FBI Director, Womack says this about Mason. This man does not exist, not in the United States or Great Britain. Duh, because James Bond is actually a code name. Plus, the time frame more or less would match up with Connery first appearing in Dr. No in 1962. If this character was actually James Bond, it'd make a whole lot of sense to me, in my opinion at least. And that's that theory. Here, let's go on to the next one. This next theory is about Aladdin. This theory states that the whole movie takes place in the future. What? So, yes, as I said before, the theory states that Aladdin is actually set in the future. The film is actually set in 10,300 AD. Now, why do people think it's set in the future? Well, in the film, the genie calls Aladdin's clothes so 3rd century, and since people know that the genie has been locked in a lamp for 10,000 years, then that means the year is actually 10,300. I'm going to explain why the genie makes so many pop culture references. A more expanded version of this theory adds the magic carpet isn't actually magic. It's a futuristic hover technology. And Lago doesn't talk just because it's a Disney film. He talks because humans have created technology to make it so their pets can communicate with their owners. Yeah, some crazy crap right there for that theory. I'll tell you that right now. Now this next theory is about the classic 1984 film Ghostbusters, and no, not the second film, and no, not that really crappy 2016 movie we had. Thanks, Hollywood. In this theory of the original Ghostbusters, the gang died after crossing streams. Yeah, crossing the streams for their proton packs. For the proton packs did lead to the Ghostbusters' death, and all the celebration afterward was a posthumous party to honor the fallen Ghostbusters. Crossing streams is super dangerous, as we are taught in the first Ghostbusters. So yeah, that probably killed him. The second film is actually the Ghostbusters stuck in purgatory, and that's why no one seems to remember them or what they did to the city. An alternate but similar theory insists that the Ghostbusters blew up the entire city when they crossed streams, and everyone is stuck in purgatory in the second film. So yeah, there's some weird crap about this. If some of my favorite characters died in a film, such as Ghostbusters and Harry Potter, I would be pretty freaking ticked off. Wouldn't you? But still, I'm super mad about the Ghostbusters 2016 film. Thanks, Hollywood. You're a bunch of a-holes. This next theory is about one of my favorite franchises of all time, that is Harry Potter. And this theory says that the Dursleys are cruel to Harry for a reason. The reason that the Dursleys are so mean and cruel to Harry is because he is a Horcrux and that evil poison has been affecting them for years. You might think that the Dursleys are terrible to Harry just for the sake of being a-holes, but when you think about who or what Harry actually is, you might understand their hatred. Harry is a Horcrux, as we learned in the later series, and we all know how terribly those things affect bystanders. Ron became cruel after wearing the necklace for only a few weeks. Imagine how messed up you would be if you lived with a Horcrux under the stairs for a decade. There was another theory that said Harry Potter and the Wizarding World and all of his fantasies were just fantasy dreams. I wanted to prove that theory, but I think this theory was a little bit more interesting. And plus, I hate the Dursleys, so that shouldn't be that obvious. This next theory is about the film Inception, one of the most effed up Christopher Nolan films ever. And this theory states that Cobb's totem isn't the spinning top, but I'll tell you this. Cobb was using a spinning top the entire movie as his token, but his token is actually his wedding ring. In the real world, he doesn't wear a ring. But in the dream world, he always has the ring on. It also makes the ending less ambiguous. You can see in the final scene that he's not wearing a ring. So, he must be in the dream world. So, basically, this is about not having dreams, and then having dreams, and then more dreams, and so on. I would go on more about this theory, but I have to get into number one because this is the theory that that got me interested most in that theory. And finally, the number one conspiracy, film conspiracy in my opinion in this list is from the amazing film No Country for Old Men. And this theory states that Anton Chigurh, or I'll just say Javier Bardem's character, is the angel of death sent by an angry Old Testament God to wreak vengeance upon the drug trade. This would explain Chigurh's total indifference to the fate of his prey, although not why he takes such pleasure in messing with that gas station attendant. So in the film, Josh Brolin gets some money, Javier Bardem blah 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 blah, the guns, and I'm not even spoiling this because I probably did spoil it. So those are the 10 craziest film conspiracies. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think I should do for my next video? And I'll see you all next time with a brand new